Hi, I'm Simon Lamb of Method Excel, and this is a quick demonstration of the Power BI date hierarchy with an example of something can go wrong with it on line charts. So let's start by creating a simple table using enter data. You can enter data direct from the desktop or through through Power Query, which is what I'm going to use because I want to show you what happens when you do that. So we'll click on enter data. I've just got an Excel spreadsheet that I have put all the data in, so you just press Ctrl V. It's got a bunch of dates, a bunch of amounts, and we'll leave the table name as table. Just click OK. So what happens is you get a query, and this happens if you do it through the desktop or you do it through Power Query. The source is, if you press on the gear wheel, will just take you back to that enter data panel that we had before, but it's added a changed type step to the query. It's obviously detected that the date is a date, so it's changed it to a date type, and it's changed the amount to integer because there are no decimal points on those. So let's just close that up and load it, and what you'll see is the table will come in over here on the right hand side on fields. So you've got your table, you've got amounts, you've got your date, and if you click on this chevron you'll find you've also got a date hierarchy. So you entered some data with dates in, Power Query detected that they were dates, changed the type, then you loaded it up and it created a date hierarchy for you. If we expand that down, it's pulled out year, quarter, month and day. So if we put a simple table on the page, put the date hierarchy in, you'll find that that date hierarchy covers the full 12 months of the year. So it goes from January the 1st through December the 31st. It gives you all the quarters, all the months, all the days. If we put amount in, then it just collapses down and shows you just the particular days and those sum of amounts. So in the background, Power BI has created you a proper table, and what we're going to do now is just put a line chart on here, make that decent size, and I'm going to put date, which will put the date hierarchy in, to put it in on the axis, and I'll put amounts as the values. So you can see that it is at the top level now. We can see it's a hierarchy because we've got these drill downs. So if we drill down to the next level, we'll find it drills to quarters, and drill down another level, it'll drill down to months, and drill down again, it'll drill down to days. So that's excellent, and that's the advantage that the date hierarchy gives you. You can drill up and down. Typically, I find that although I might have a lot of data that is down to at a granularity of day, I only ever want to report it on month. And the data hierarchy allows you to do all of that. Quarter I found particularly useless, and normally I just delete quarter, and you can do that. You can delete any level in the hierarchy. To be honest, the only one that makes sense to delete is quarter. Deleting month doesn't make much sense. But on occasion you can find that you delete too far. So now we've got day and year, and it does something very curious. So this is now, instead of an inverted V, it's just going up, and that's because the day numbers, there are sort of sequential from 1 to 12 day numbers in there, although they're not sequential. So let's put month back in, and then something really curious happens, and it joins together the points, not randomly but very curiously. So what it's doing, if you look, the first point is January the 1st, and the second point is December the 2nd, and the third point is February the 3rd. So it's joining together, and you've probably spotted this, on the order of the days. So if I were to sort this on day, you'll find January, December, February, November, March, October, and this is the order that it's joined them up in. So although we've got these dates, we've got the hierarchy and it looks all present and correct, actually the order in which it has joined the points together is by the order of days. So this is something to look out for if you find that with the date hierarchy that your line graphs are doing something rather curious. So the next question really is how to fix it. So if you if you over here, if you click on the date hierarchy, just drop this down. This is where you would change various things about that field. And you can change back to date. That's not very interesting. Let's just click again, although it's already selected. Click on date hierarchy again, and you'll see that the quarter comes back in. We're reverted back to the year level. We'll drill down, and you'll find it's fixed. So that's how to fix it. There is another way of fixing it. Let's get rid of those two again. Put month in. Recreate our problem. If you go on the format, and you look at the x-axis. The x-axis has a type, and it can be continuous, which it is by default on a line chart, or it can be categorical. And categorical then splits apart the components of the date hierarchy, and you can see that this fixes it, and that if you take the month out and put the month back in, it is fixed. So it's something to do with the fact that you've got a categorical, or rather you've got a continuous type on this date axis. So that led me to thinking, does it happen on other things? So I tried an area chart, and it looks to be okay. So let's just double check, take month out, put month back in, and no, it's not. Area charts behave in just the same way, and again, you'll find that the x-axis has an option of type which can be continuous or categorical. Again, going categorical fixes it. If you go to a combo chart, and let's move the amount in to be line values, and we again try to recreate the problem, you'll find that that doesn't have the same problem, and that's because well, it seems to be because the x-axis doesn't have that option of being continuous or categorical. So it is categorical by default because it's got this concatenate labels on, which is another feature of the categorical type on the axis, which splits those apart. I find this particularly useful. It makes the axis a little bit more cleaner, though it does take up a little bit of real estate on the page, which is its downside. So I think a lot of people would want to delve deeper and understand exactly why this happens. Personally, I have my takeaway is that if I've got a date hierarchy and I've got a very curiously behaving graph, then I can fix it in a couple of ways. I can just reinstate the date hierarchy. I can swap it between graph types, and that'll probably fix it. Or I can make sure that or I could change the axis to be categorical rather than continuous. Well, I hope that has made some sense. Click like or share or whatever, and thanks for watching.